Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Benyar BY-5177 homage to the Rolex Explorer. This is my second attempt at reviewing this watch. I reviewed it the other day, but then when I went to edit the video, I saw I had a black smudge on my right thumbnail. And that was completely unacceptable, so I have to shoot this video all over again. Let's start out with the wrist check. I'm wearing my Sterling Formula I homage to the Paul Newman Rolex Daytona. And Grogo's wearing a Tag Heuer Aqua Racer. Grogo says Princess Leia made a chart tracking her retirement funds. Han Solo thought that was a good idea, so he made a chart track too, the Wrath of Han. Here's the watch. Looks a lot like a Rolex Explorer. In fact, I was at Borsheim's the other day trying on watches, and the salesman said, "Wow, that looks a lot like a Rolex Explorer." And he has a lot of experience with nice-looking watches. Of course, he didn't say, "Is that a Rolex Explorer?" He just said it looks like one. I wasn't sure if I'd review this watch since it's identical to the Benyar Milgauss homage I reviewed other than the dial on the second hand. But then Rolex went and changed the Explorer, making it hot again. And thus there's a lot of buzz about it, so I figured I'd better get one of these and review it. After spending a few days with it, I can confirm it is indeed basically the same watch as the Milgauss homage. So if you've already seen that review, you can skip this if you want. One thing though, in the Milgauss review, I foolishly believed Benyar when they said all the stainless steel. That watch has a chrome-plated case just like this one. Rolex shrunk the Explorer down to 36 millimeters. I was a little bummed by that. It took the Explorer off the list of Rolexes I might possibly ever own because I think 36 millimeters is just too small for my wrist. Thankfully, Benyar did not shrink this one. It's still at 41 millimeters. The watch comes in this box with a magnet clasp. I've complained about this before. When it comes to these very affordable Chinese automatic watches, magnetism is an issue, so you should keep them away from magnets if possible. I can't imagine a whole bunch of these boxes stacked up together in a warehouse, how bad the magnetic field might be. The watch is 41 millimeters at the bezel, 50 millimeters lug to lug, has inverted end links though, so that's a true 50 millimeters lug to lug. It's 13.6 millimeters thick, has a 21 millimeter lug width, it weighs 143 grams with 2 links removed. At 41 millimeters, this watch is bigger than a Milgauss, which is at 40 millimeters, and it's bigger than last year's Explorer, which is at 39 millimeters. However, the 41 millimeter size makes sense considering the extra thickness of this watch. Since it's such a chunky watch, you wouldn't want it to be too short because then it would make it look really fat. Has a smooth bezel. The dial is black with no sunburst effect. They also have 2 other colorways in this style. You can get a blue one and a white one. It has applied fully loomed indices with the 3, 6, and 9, just like a real Rolex Explorer. The borders of the indexes and the hands have a nice shine to them. It looks pretty good. You have the Benyar name and logo printed on, and then it says automatic water resistant, 50 meters. I don't know why it had to say both water resistant and 50 meters. You could just say 50 meters and one would assume it was water resistant. And then the dial would be a little less cluttered. The hands are nice, Rolex style with the Mercedes hour hand and the lollipop second hand. And there's the lollipop counterbalance to the second hand. The case is a chrome-plated alloy, despite the fact that it says all solid stainless steel on the case back. This is just a fib that Benyar tells on most of their watches. If you can't accept that fact, then Benyar watches are not for you. The crystal is hardened glass. You can't expect sapphire at this price point, which is in the $40 range. Sometimes they're in the low 50s. One nice thing though, glass is not near as reflective as sapphire, so you can see through it very nicely. and it doesn't catch the light near as bad as sapphire without anti-reflective coating. And if you do get a very affordable watch with sapphire, you are more than likely not going to get anti-reflective coating. So sometimes it's just better to go with glass anyway. The unsigned crown is a push-pull. You don't have to screw it in and out. It has a display screw-down case back showing off the G2666Z movement, which is a Chinese-made movement. The novelty of display case backs have kind of worn off on me, but this is a very nice looking movement. You can see all the gears and the blue screws. I'm sure they're not actually blued, just kind of painted on, but it looks really nice. Compare this to an NH35 movement, and you can hardly see anything. So I really like this display case because the movement is worth looking at. One thing though, looking at this movement, you can see why the watch is so thick. This is a very thick movement. The movement hand winds, but does not hack. When I first got into watches, hacking was a big deal. But now it's kind of nice when they don't hack. Because instead of setting the watch, hacking it, then waiting for time to catch up, and then pushing it in, just set the minute hand to the current time and call it good. It's kind of convenient. Since this is an automatic watch, it's not going to be accurate the next day anyway. So why go through the hassle of setting it to be the exact time if you don't have to? This one is running a little fast. Here's the time graph on it. It's running 12 seconds fast. Once again, it's always better to be fast than slow. Although in this case, since it's a non-hacking movement, who cares? As long as it's close. I remember the Benyar Milgas homage I reviewed. I was able to get that spot on. This is the same movement. So it's just going to be the luck of the draw how accurate your movement is. The bracelet has hollow end links, but at least they're inverted, letting a big watch wear a little smaller. It has a stainless steel shellfish style bracelet that is fully brushed. Has a few little nicks and flaws, as you can see right there at that first link there. You can see some little problems with the brushwork. I don't know if I did that when I was wearing the watch or if it came that way. I didn't really notice when I unboxed it. It has push pins for adjustment, and they come out really easy, but they stay in nice. It's really easy to adjust these Benyar bracelets. And like all Benyars, the clasp is a push button, but no micro adjust. But it is signed. I had to remove 2 links to fit on my 7.5-inch wrist. And it's just a hair tight, so some micro adjust would have been nice. But if I put a link back in, it would make the watch way too loose. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. Wears nice. It's a big chunky watch, but doesn't look too bad. I would not recommend this watch though if you had a wrist much smaller than 7, because it does wear fairly high. But I really like the deep black dial on this. It really stands out. Here we are in the lume room. Since this is a Benyar, you're not going to get wonderful lume, so I'm not going to do a side-by-side comparison. I'm just going to show you the lume you're going to get. Let's give it a charge. Once again, standard disclaimer, I can't show you the lume without charging it because I have just a phone camera that doesn't do very well in low light. So you're not going to see anything unless I charge it first. Let's go ahead and kill the lights. And there's the lume. As you can see, it's not horrible, but it's not great.
At least the hand loom is better than the index loom, but as you can see, it's fading pretty quickly. So it's not great loom, but it's not awful either.
What do I like about this watch? Well, they really nailed the look of an Explorer. It looks like an Explorer. It's bigger, but it sure does look like one. I like the nice brush bracelet. I've always been very pleased with these Benyar bracelets. I mean, they're not perfect because the watch price point, but they're nice. And I really love this deep black dial. That black is really awesome. And I like the fact that it has inverted end links. Makes this big watch wear a little bit smaller. What are my gripes and groans? Well, the watch is a little thick. It'd been nice if they could have shaved a 1 millimeter off of this. And what's up with the 21 millimeter lug width? They should have been either 22 or 20. I don't know about you, but I don't have any 21 millimeter straps. And then I have my standard Benyar gripes and groans. Don't say all stainless steel when the watch is not all stainless steel. Do not ship an automatic watch in a box with a magnet in it. And I really wish they'd just upgrade this clasp and give us one with some micro adjust in it. Do I recommend this watch? Yes, if you can get over the fact that they claim all stainless steel, but it's not, then this is a really nice watch for the price point. It looks great. It wears great. And I don't think you'll be disappointed as long as you know what you're going to get. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Benyar BY-5177. And I will be back later with another review or unboxing. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. Bye.